Hello, welcome to the Opinionistics. I'm your host, John Malone, and we'll potentially have co-hosts joining us. But until then, go with the flow, they'll say. Introducing from San Francisco, California, Glenda Benavides.
Very good. Hi.
Hello. So, what do you do?
What do I do? Well, I do a lot of things, but mainly been a professional singer and songwriter since I was 16 and did a lot of traveling and touring. And now I'm been a recording artist for a very long time. And I've also written a book called Courage, and I have a group called Global Badass Goddess. And that's where I support women to step into their clarity, courage, confidence, and commitment to not only themselves, but something that they're really passionate about. So that's a lot. And I'm in the process right now. We're in the middle of Grammy season here in the US, and I am being considered for a Grammy this year. So I've got a song, it's called Lulu White, and it's up in the roots category. So fingers crossed, she'll be considered and I'll be in the serious running. So I'm excited about that.
Okay, fabulous.
Yeah. Yeah.
And what inspired you to become an author or a professional vocalist, a songwriter, and so on?
Yeah, that's a good question. I've been doing it for so long. It's just something I've always had the talent for. And then I decided that I really wanted to make it my lifestyle. And so I did. And as I was going along through the years, I realized that I love music and I love writing music and I love the effect that it has and the impact that it has on people, not only when you're singing, but when you're writing music that really makes a difference. And that's really been my take. I'm not a kind of a superficial let's have fun kind of artist. I mean, we do and I do, but I'm more of like, hey, let's look at this, let's look at that. And not from a political position, but more of like a consciousness position in my lyrical writing. And just to really help raise the vibration for people. So that's really how it started for me all these years, and then touring. And I spent some time in London and Scotland and performing there, and I love it. And how I got segued over to being an author, it was kind of a silly thing. Um, I was in my kitchen with a girlfriend of mine, and she turned to me and she said, you're a badass. And I said, what? What do you mean? And she said, you're just a badass. And so I kind of, instead of shying away from that, I kind of took that on, like, what does that mean? And so I went on a deeper journey with that. And I realized that to me, a badass is somebody that's beautiful, accessible, daring, abundant, savvy, sassy, you can name anything in that. And I just kind of started from there. I have a podcast, and inside my book, I just really give stories and antidotes on, like, just for have people to take on their life, like what does that mean for them, and give them, it's kind of like a workbook. So yeah, I just decided to do it. I said, I'm going to write I had other friends writing and they took them forever. They never wrote. It took 10 years to write a book. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to write this book. I'm going to do a chapter a day. And I did. It was an interesting goal. And then after I wrote the 10 chapters, which is actually, there's more, but after I wrote that, I kind of sat on it for a little while. And then a good friend of mine that was my coach said, this is really good information, and I think people need to hear it. And I thought, oh, okay. So I kind of went down that path. I found myself an editor, and we worked on it for 3 or 4 months, and then I launched the book. So that's kind of how that happened. It wasn't like, this is my life's path to be an author, but it just kind of came out of that. So,
Very good.
thank
Is
you.
there any places around the world that you would like to perform someday?
Oh yeah. I'd love to really. I've played Berlin. I've played in Paris. I've played in the south of France. Um, of course, Edinburgh is my favorite, and then anywhere in England. So that's really kind of where my sights are set um, for Europe and the UK. Ireland would be fab. Yeah, that's my. I've been in Japan, Korea, Taiwan. That's my history. I've done the Asias, and now I really want to go back and play Europe and the UK. So that would be my passion.
Perfect. And throughout your whole life, what have been the high points and the low points?
Oh, hmm. High points would be winning. This last year, I won an award for what was it? I won an award for Soul Best R&B Soul Artist of the Year, and down in Los Angeles. So I went and sang for that award show and got my award. I thought that was absolutely lovely. And then also playing the Corn Exchange in Scotland. It was really close to Fringe, and we were um, that was just a blast. Like everybody was so loving and extraordinary, and we just had a great time. So that would be my high points. My low points. That's a good question. Low points, two of them. One, on being on stage, I was in the middle of a hip hop dance routine, and I fell, and I hit so hard that that echoed through the auditorium. Everybody turned their heads.
Oh
And I just
dear.
had, oh God, and I just had to pretend like, yeah, that was part of it. As one does when one is a professional. Um, make your mistakes beautiful. Anyway, yeah, that's probably a pretty low point at the time, and now I laugh at it. But then another one is financially being taken for a ride with a manager that I had back in 2007, and that was a lot of money that was dispersed, and um, just dreams dashed, so to speak, and just really being ripped off. So good lessons, but on the back end of it, but quite painful. So I would say that would be a low point.
Ah, yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
What's your
artists
favorite?
tend to be marked.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of dessert?
Hmm. Not a big dessert person, but if I would have to say dessert, probably lemon meringue pie.
Okay. Sounds, sounds
Or a
good.
scone, like a good scone, like with real clotted cream.
Oh yes. That's
Yes,
that's the stuff.
yes.
Would you rather be really hot or really cold?
Really cold.
Ah yes. Absolutely.
Hmm.
What wastes the most time in your day-to-day life?
Probably easy enough to get distracted taking care of other people or other situations, helping them out. Um, it's not necessarily a bad thing, but it can put you behind. But I'm pretty tight now, so I'm pretty on target with things. So that's a upside.
Hmm. Interesting. What's something you tried really hard to like, but you just couldn't?
Liver.
Okay, sounds good. Fabulous. So, would you rather breathe underwater or have an agility of a cat?
Hmm. Breathe underwater. I'm a fish anyway, so
All right then, sounds good.
yeah.
If you had a song for every time you enter the room, what song would it be?
Oh gosh. Probably one that's just floating in my head. I would say my song or just in general.
Whatever works.
Okay. I would say um, It's a song that I wrote back in 92, and it says, change it now, change it before it's too late, change, scream it out loud, it's the time of change.
All right then. Great song choice.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you ever travel often?
Actually, I do. Well, I just shot the last music video, Lulu White, which I was briefly talking about. Lulu White was, I actually found her online. She's a woman from the late 1800s. And I was looking for powerful women of the South. And I ended up in New Orleans, and I found this whole, small little blurb about her. And come to find out, she was the richest woman in New Orleans in the late 1800s, and she was absolutely beautiful, and she had the best marketing ever, and she had the most expensive brothel in New Orleans, and such a powerful, inspirational woman that you can actually, the reason I liked it was because I really saw that she really made a lot out of her life from that time period where women didn't have empowerment, when women were, you're either working for your father or you're scrubbing floors or your husband or something. You didn't have the right to vote, you didn't have anything. And I thought, if this woman in that time period can be that successful, then I'm thinking, for us women today, why can't we do that? Why can't we be successful at what we're passionate about? And I'm not saying that she was necessarily passionate about being a brothel owner, but at least she made lemonade out of lemons, kind of a thing, where that was pretty impressive. So Lulu is pretty awesome song. I'm sorry, I lost the question, but but that song is pretty inspirational. So
Yeah, it sure is. If you were chosen to be living on a new habitable planet, would you take it?
No, I would not.
Okay.
Because I believe that we need to take care of this planet. We need to clean this planet up. If you can't clean your own house, you don't just throw dishes away in the garbage and then go to somebody else's house and do the same thing, or move to a new home. We need to start taking care of things here and now, and having all of us come together and wake up our consciousness around that and see the connection. And I'm really seeing that people don't get it. And if they do, shame on them, because honestly, I mean, I go for walks every day, and as I'm walking, I see people like, okay, we're in a drought here in California. I mean, it's starting to happen everywhere, but it's bad. And I'm watching people water their lawns. Like, that's insanity. Like, why? So you can mow it and create more carbon? I'm like, are you serious? Like, it's just insane. It's insane. And I really feel like we just need to stop and come together and like really start caring about ourselves and other people truly, like on a real level.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree with that. If you could erase one past experience, what would it be?
Gosh. I really look at all my experiences are my choice, whether I made them or not, because sometimes by not making a choice, it is our choice. So it's hard for me to go, oh, I'd get rid of that or get rid of that. Yeah, sure, that was painful and challenging. But I've learned from everything that I've ever done. And it's brought me to this place now where I can truly make a difference for the next level of my life. And so that one's a hard one, but great question. I think, if I was to answer that directly, I guess, I would not want to be ripped off. That's for sure. Financially, I would like to have people just be honest and not in survival or whatever you think you need to do to take advantage of somebody or an artist or whatever, So
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. How much time do you spend on the internet?
Oh, way too much. Oh God. A lot. Shall I look at my phone and see how much time I spent? um, Probably most of the day off and on because I'm marketing or I'm talking to someone or playing music or I'm listening to a podcast or that type of thing. So gosh, couldn't give you hours, but probably a fair amount. I would say 6 to 8 hours a day, probably off and on,
Dang.
Yeah,
Wow.
not straight, but just off and on,
Oh yeah. I could be like that as well.
Mm.
If you could travel back in time, what decade
Mm.
would you want to live in?
Oh yeah, Queen Elizabeth. We're here. We're there. It'd be 16, let's see, 1640, no, yeah, 1655 probably.
Interesting. Very interesting.
Did I say that? 1655. Hold on. No, not 16. That would be James. Probably I meant 15. 1554, 1555, maybe.
Okay. That makes
The
sense.
Elizabethan. Yeah, the first
Oh yeah.
Elizabeth.
All right.
Fab.
Sounds good.
Dangerous, fabulous,
Yes.
dramatic.
My favorite. Which recent news story have you found most interesting?
Well, gosh, I try to stay away from the news. I hate it. I try to keep my head focused in higher spiritual consciousness and doing positive things now, like in my life, in my moment. So I try to really stay away from any kind of trauma. Of course, I am very sad about Ukraine and that whole scenario, and I'm very sad that I mean, obviously, we don't know what's behind the scenes. We don't know the politics. We don't know all of that. We're not getting fed probably proper information ever. So but I just don't think anybody needs to invade anybody, and and a crazy man with a big bomb is not a good idea. A psychopath. I think no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah. Even I'm baffled by that.
Right. Like, and
Yeah.
and there's a part of me is like, what are we doing? Play the card, play it. I know we're doing it undercover, like sending all that kind of stuff to them, but maybe we have our what do you call them, our black ops guys over there helping out. I don't know, but it's like, please just stop this.
Yeah.
Mother, you need to go to your room.
Yeah. This had enough of this. Enough of this.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And don't destroy my beautiful Europe, and don't even think about my UK. So.
Yes.
Then
Absolutely.
I'm get mad. I get real mad.
Yeah, we all get mad by that.
Right. Well, there's way too much history, and everybody's just getting along. We're like all like melding together, and there's music and art and expression, and then dickwad comes along. Excuse my language. It's like, really, these people need. Can you imagine, like, you and I? We're just like walking down the street one day, and then all of a sudden there's like a bomb that happens. We can't even imagine that. Like, I know I can't. I'm in America. I can't imagine it. Like, you'd be like, what? I have to grab my dog. Where am I going?
Yes.
It's like, what? Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
What is the one thing you can't live without?
Pizza. Pizza and tacos. I love tacos.
Yeah. Good old pizza.
Yep.
What is your favorite life hack?
I would say I love. There's a couple of them. I would just let me give you some quotes. One of my favorites, Bruce Lee, and one of his quotes says, "To hell with circumstances, I create opportunities." I love that. That's how I live my life. And then every man must decide whether he will walk in the light of creative altruism or in the darkness of destructive selfishness. And that's a Martin Luther quote. And yeah, amazing. And that's what I try to live inside of.
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm.
And part of what I'm doing with that is every time I sell a CD or I sell a book, I plant a tree. And I plant a tree with One Tree Planted. You can go to them, onetreeplanted.com. And matter of fact, I planted a bunch in Scotland not too long ago. I did, I think, about 20 trees. And then I did 20 trees here in California because we need
Yeah,
it.
as we all do.
Yeah, I'm trying to do my part.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Would you rather speak all languages or talk to animals?
Ooh, talk to animals.
Yep, that'll be pretty cool.
Right.
Yeah. How did you spend your last birthday?
Oh, that's a great question. I would probably be in Scotland, probably be in Edinburgh at the Ensign, listening to music, drinking some scotch, single malt,
Ah, very
probably
cool.
an Oban or uh, maybe a Macallan or something.
Oh, very good, very good. What's the first thing you would do if you won the lottery?
Oh gosh, I would immediately. Well, first of all, I do two things. I put some money aside to make sure bills were paid and everything like that. Then I would probably attack the homelessness situation. I would probably go in and go, okay, we need to talk about this because if you look at it, Finland handled that. They handled that. We need to look at who made that happen. Nobody's homeless there. I didn't see very many homeless in the UK either. I don't know if it's out of necessity because you don't want to get cold and rained on, but it looks like everybody else but us can, we're just so greedy over here. It's ridiculous. I would probably focus in those areas, and then keep planting trees, raising, which I'm doing now without money, but just want to raise consciousness and have everybody just pitch in. Like everybody needs to wake up and pick something that you love, pick something that you're passionate about, and do that. Give to other people, not just yourself, or your family. That's a part of it, but learn to love yourself on a deeper level so you have more freedom, more consciousness to actually really do something, and feel freed up. So, I mean, it's complicated. I'm not saying this is all like, and then we'll just get this handled. Um, it's a complicated, we're all complicated, but
Hmm.
there's a place to start, and that's what I would say.
Oh, yes. If you could live anywhere in the world, where would it be?
Probably the UK.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah, like either Scotland or maybe near, I just love, well, I love Tintagel. I love that. I love the coastline. It's just magnificent. But there's so many beautiful areas. I would probably get a little cute little shop, like a tea and scone shop, and and record run recording in this in a recording studio somewhere where it's gorgeous.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Who was the last person you talked to?
My music partner, which was just a few minutes ago. Um, and then actually before that, actually, I didn't talk to him. So let me just run that back. A very good friend of mine, actually, who's from the East Coast, but now lives out here, and he's a DJ. And he called me with some really tragic news. A good friend of ours passed away on tour, and yeah, he was a phenomenal singer and trumpet player, and played with Lydia Pence and Cold Blood. And he died at like 55, I think, of a heart attack. So I'm still kind of reeling from that. But that would probably be the last person I talked to was Paul. Yeah.
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 Rest in peace.
Yeah.
Where is the most relaxing place you've been to?
Um, hmm. It's been to so many places. Probably Hawaii. Yeah.
Yeah, Hawaii's a
Yeah,
very great place.
yeah. Kauai is like my favorite island.
Hmm. Bit pricey, but still, it's a very great island.
Yes,
Do you have any pets?
I did. I don't. I had a Pekingese, but that was, gosh, it's going on mm, 15 years now ago. Um, and I usually just have my backyard pets, which are crows and squirrels. I feed them.
Okay, that's
I
good.
love crows. Crows are
Yeah,
fabulous.
absolutely. What are your thoughts on sending mail to Bigfoot?
Big Thought? Is that a, I'm sorry, is that a
No,
company?
Bigfoot.
Oh,
Foot.
Bigfoot.
Yes.
Sending mail to Bigfoot. Hmm. What are my thoughts on that? Um, Probably wouldn't do that.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
Gotta stay safe.
No real interest, but that's okay.
Yep, it happens. What were the weirdest nicknames you were given?
Ooh. Um, Not really weird, but Glenn. A lot of my friends call me Glenn or Glenny. And that's G. I get G a lot. Hey G. Um, yeah, probably those three.
Okay. What takes a lot of time to master, but it's definitely worth it?
Mm, my artistry field. Absolutely. Music. Absolutely. It's a lifelong journey of growing and learning. I mean, it takes forever to master different areas of the business. It's extraordinary, actually.
Ah, very nice.
Yeah.
And that is all we have for this episode. It's great having you here, Glenda, talking about your work as a musician, vocalist, songwriter, all your travels, performing across the world, and everything else. It's been amazing.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Hope to see you soon.
And you too.
All right.
Until next time, stay opinionated.